Hello, today I'm pleased to welcome back to campus Aaron Stanley, a 1998 graduate of William Patterson with a Bachelor of Science in Business Management, who currently works as a senior specialist at Deloitte, where he leads teams for systems implementation projects in the financial services industry. A native of Pensacola, New Jersey, Aaron now lives in nearby Lawnside, which interestingly was the first independent, self-governing black municipality north of the Mason-Dixon line. Aaron got his start in that industry thanks to his WP degree and his lifelong aptitude for math and finance, along with the help from the Career Development Center, which came to him with an opportunity to join KPMG, where he launched his career. Since then, he has worked at other industry leaders, including Bloomberg LP. Along the way, he earned an MBA from Morgan State University in Maryland, where he was Student of the Year. Congratulations. During his time at William Patterson, Aaron spent 2 years playing wide receiver for the Pioneer football team and was involved in campus groups like Brothers for Awareness and worked part-time to help pay his way through college. Outside of work, Aaron's interests include smoking foods and travel. Since graduating, Aaron has remained actively connected to many of his fellow WP alumni, and I am pleased to have him back on campus, where we look forward to his further involvement with his alma mater. Welcome back, Aaron.
Well, thank you.
So what was it like to be back on campus? Look familiar, look a little bit different?
Yes, it's amazing. It's a lot of developments. It's very impressive. It was breathtaking compared to what I've used to seeing back in the late 90s to now. It's just breathtaking. I'm really impressed and happy with what I see.
We stand on the shoulders of alum like you who have gone out and done great things. So I mentioned in your intro your lifelong aptitude for math and financial markets. Can you tell me how that developed and how you've fostered your interest in financial markets throughout your career?
Certainly. Well, how I developed my math and financial markets interest, I've had the opportunity to work at some great firms such as Bloomberg, as you mentioned. That was the real start of my financial markets career, where I got to apply a lot of things I learned at William Patterson, such as I was just looking. I still have my books, by the way. I was just looking at them this morning. My finance book. That's, I think, the most relevant class in terms of Bloomberg. It gave me an opportunity to learn what the primary markets are, the capital structure of a firm, the equities that they issue, the bonds that they issue, and so on, and how those bonds work. I know bond math. So when I went to Bloomberg, I had a really good sense of what these securities are and how they behave in the market, what could impact the price of a security. So I thought that was really interesting and valuable to me, the information I learned in class, how I could translate that into the workforce. And I was able to also, when I went to Aberdeen Asset Management, same thing. I was very keen on financial markets and securities, or the various types of securities that are out there. And one of the things you might find is very interesting is, not to brag, but I was really good at what I did. And one common question that I was asked at every firm I was at is, what school did you go to? You know, so, and I was proud to say William Patterson, and then I explained the various classes I've taken. And because not everybody in the financial field has a business degree. They have communications with it, but you could tell the difference because when you study in business management or finance, you have more aptitude in that particular area, you know. So I was very happy to say I was from William Patterson.
Great. Well, we're happy to say you're from William Patterson too. But tell me about how you got to William Patterson, and did you always know coming in what your major was going to be? So many of our students changed, but so how did you get here, and did you always know from the beginning?
Sure, good question. Well, I mean, what got me here was, first I visited a few colleges before I got to William Patterson. So, and they were all great colleges, but something about William Patterson grabbed me. It was good energy from the start. It was away from home, so I wanted to, stand on my own 2 feet. I didn't want to be too close to home and have distractions. So I thought it was that was a good selling point. I could be on my own. I like the mountains. Where I'm from is flat in South Jersey, so when I came here, the mountains were beautiful to me. And I like, when I was talking to the admissions, the way they broke down the curriculum of the business management. Because one of the guys I used to work with in the gym, the older guy, he was telling me Since you're already smart, you know you're good at math. Why don't you get into accounting? Why don't you get into finance? At that time, I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking football or maybe being a rapper, you know. So I thought it was interesting to hear a different perspective because nobody had me thinking about that. I was just more football or rapping. So then when I saw that they had a strong program for accounting and finance at William Patterson, plus I liked the way it was presented to me, that's what grabbed me.
Maybe you could think about a podcast as a rapper doing something on financial markets. What do you think?
That's a good one.
There could be a
All
market for
right.
that. I'm just saying. I'm always pleased to hear stories about our Career Development Center and how they played a very direct role in helping alumni get their first jobs post-college. As someone who is now in a senior position in the financial industry, how important do you think it is for today's students to start thinking about their career from the very start?
Oh, it's critical. Well, I just have to say as a precursor to that, I was the first person in my family to go to college, so I didn't really have like a plan on how to go about developing myself in college. But now that I have walked the path, what I would say to anybody younger than me is you have to have a plan. You know, take the time to understand what it is that you want to do. You may not know at first because you're young. What, you're 18, you're still a kid.
Right.
You know, but take the time to at least start getting an idea on what it is that you like and what you want to do. Then find a mentor. It's critical to find a mentor. You can have a plan, but your plan may need some tweaking. That's why you need a mentor to help guide you along.
Yeah. So speaking of mentors, did you have someone at William Patterson who helped you that you're...
That's a good question. I didn't exactly have a mentor, but there were people from time to time I would talk to, but I wouldn't say it was one particular mentor. Like at various times I would talk to some people in the Office Minority of Education. They may help out or talk to somebody in EOF. I came in through the EOF program.
EOF grad, congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So Miss Anna Clash Rivera, I think her name is.
Yeah.
She was the head at the time.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I would talk to them and they would help. If they didn't have the answer, they would help point me to the right person.
What's your most enduring memory of William Patterson?
Most enduring memory, wow. Well, actually, 1995 was a big year, where that year it was the Million Man March down in Washington D.C. And I love who I am. I love being black, and there's nothing against anybody. I just love who I am, you know. And that's what makes me easy to love you because I love me. You know, I know what love is. So I'd say that to say it was important. I thought for us, all the brothers on campus, to go there to Washington D.C. It was a day for us to atone, to become better men. You know, that was the whole purpose of the rally was to, you know, become better men so we can go back to our communities and become more productive in our society. So I say that to say, talk to the Office of Minority Education. They chartered a bus for all of us to go down to Washington, D.C.
Oh, great.
So I was really happy to see so many people interested from William Patterson to go to the Million Man March.
Well, you'll happy to know that our students are still interested in those activism opportunities and social justice issues as well. It really resonates well with them. You know, as I would say, probably the premier Pioneer fan. One of the things that I love about athletics is I think it's one of the last places on campus where students from all different majors, all different walks of life, can come together and work as a group toward a common goal.
I like that.
So can you talk a little bit about what your experience as a Pioneer football player taught you that's transferred into your life?
Very good question. There's a lot of transferable skills. Well, football, you need discipline. That's one. You need to have discipline. If you want to become excellent at what you do, you have to practice, you know, be disciplined at practicing, honing your skills. I think learning how to work together with people as well, different types of people, because not everybody's going to have the same personality as you, but you still have to learn how to work with them.
Right.
And just also sometimes you have to be a leader. Sometimes you have to, know how to just be a good team player. So it's just all those things, just having those soft people skills.
Right. So I mentioned in your intro your love of travel.
Yes.
So I understand that you've been to 47 of the 50 states.
Yes.
So what are the 3 that remain to be crossed off your list? And do you have a favorite? And you don't have to say New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, the 3, I still have to go to Vermont, which I plan to do that maybe in February. I want to go skiing. Then I still haven't go to Montana and Washington State. which I plan to hit all those within the next 2 years.
All three great skiing if that's what you're into.
Oh,
So
nice,
that's
nice.
great. And your favorite?
Well, you said I can't see New Jersey, so
Well, you can.
right. Well, I love Jersey. I just think Jersey has everything you want. Everything is here. But if I was to choose outside of New Jersey, I would have to say I like California. I think it's a beautiful state as well. I mean, breathtaking views along I think it's Route 5, goes along the coast. Just the homes out there are just phenomenal. You know, those really fancy homes. I like LA. I like San Diego. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful out there in California.
Yeah. I'm an East Coast guy.
Oh.
I try to go. I go to San Diego. I go to LA, and every time I want to love it, but the vibe is just too laid back for me.
Oh, really?
And it's interesting that you mentioned New Jersey, because every time I leave New Jersey and I go back to the Midwest, and you mention to someone that you're from Jersey, and they say, "Oh, well, Newark." And they don't realize that the topography in New Jersey is so varied. There's flat areas, there's the mountainous areas, there's the shore, all the things that you don't really hear about, because you hear, predominantly about Newark,
Right.
which I think, gives Jersey, it short sells us in terms of the beauty of the state, in my opinion. So I also mentioned that you earned your MBA.
Yes.
And that you have several professional certifications. What would you tell today's students who are interested in careers in your industry about the importance of lifelong learning?
Wow, that's a good question too. I'm a very big advocate of constantly learning because nothing stays the same. So you have to stay abreast of the industry trends, and even today, as much as I've learned throughout the years, I never stopped learning. So you always have to just pay attention to what's going on because, for instance, there's a lot of companies that I'm familiar with and how they function, the products and services they offer, but as times change, so do their products and services. They have to meet the new demands of what the market is asking for. So, so should your skills and knowledge of those things.
So, we always end these with a lightning round.
Sure.
And since I'm the 8th president of William Patterson, there are always 8 questions.
Okay.
Some about your time at William Patterson, but also some about your life right now.
Sure.
So, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would the title of your autobiography be?
I like that question. So many, but I would just say God's Vessel, The Beautiful Journey to Redemption.
Wow, that's a great title. What was your go-to meal as a student?
First 2 years I lived in the Towers and then in Hillside, so I would go to Wayne Hall. I liked the Thanksgiving meal there, but then when I moved to the apartments on campus, I used to cook a lot. So can't say it's one meal, but going back to Wayne Hall, I just like the Thanksgiving meal. It's excellent.
Excellent. Your favorite study spot?
Well, sometimes I study alone, sometimes I study with a group. When studying with a group, I prefer the library. It's a great atmosphere, and you can always have the reference material there. You have the room. For studying by myself, I like studying in my room because, I don't like the distractions. Sometimes I'll take a break. I'll lay on my bed for like 15 minutes and then go back at it. So
you're naming a new pet, William or Patterson?
Oh, wow. Maybe William.
You're buying a new sweater, orange or black?
Black. It goes better with my complexion.
There you go. What was your toughest class at William Patterson?
Toughest class, I would say, within my major, I would say statistics, but I still liked it because it's very useful information.
Yeah, my undergrad was in business. Stats was not easy for me either.
Right.
What is your favorite piece of William Patterson branded gear?
I still have it to this day, my William Patterson hat.
And what is the single best piece of advice that you could give to today's students, no matter their major?
First and foremost, I would say love yourself. The reason why I say that is because if you have to love yourself in order to not let impediments get in your way. When you love yourself, you'll start to think clearer. You'll have a better way of developing yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you're going to develop yourself based on the way your mind works at that time.
Yeah.
So I would say, regardless of where you're at and your major or what major you have, just know that you can do whatever you want to do. Have a plan. Have the right people around you to support you. And then don't get discouraged if things don't always go the way you want it to go at the time, because everything's going to work out at the end as long as you keep pushing forward.
See, I agree. I often tell students to stop saying, I want to be a teacher, and say, I am going to be a teacher.
Right.
Think positively. Well, I thank you so much for playing today.
Thank
It
you.
was great to have you back on campus. I
Excellent.
hope the next time that we meet, your 3 states are crossed off your
Yes,
list.
sir.
And you have a great rest of your summer, and thanks
Thank
for
you so
being
much.
back.
This was a pleasure. It
It was
really
pleasure
was.
as well.
Thank you.
It was great.
All right,
It was
yeah.
great.